And welcome back to Meeting of the Minds. I'm Gene Zanetti, your coast-to-coast mindset coach from Wrestling Mindset. Today we're interviewing the great Zach Esposito. There he is. All right, let's bring in Zach. Ready to roll? See Coach Buxton? Darian Cruz? Zach, what's going on?
Am I in?
Yeah, you're in.
Nice. If you hear some kids in the background, just ignore them.
No, don't worry about it. My son he caused havoc when we had the Coast Guard coach on. It was embarrassing. How's it going?
Good. How you doing? How's back east?
Good. I mean, crazy with everything else going on, but, kind of shifting back to normal a little bit.
Yeah, I hear you.
When I was at the Olympic Training Center a few years ago, I was rooming with Valentin Kalika, and he was like, "You're a lot like Zach Esposito." He's like, "You get real excited when you hear something." I'm like, "Yeah, it's us Jersey guys."
They're pretty animated people.
I said, "Zach Esposito, that's quite a compliment." I remember watching you wrestle when we were we were the same age. We are the same age, but I remember you wrestling, like, representing Team USA at JP Stevens High School against, like, Russia or something. Do you remember that? You're probably fifth or sixth grade.
I actually do remember that. It's crazy that you brought that up. That's a real long time ago. That's going back. The funny thing about that, what's crazy about that duel, the guy I wrestled, Cooperman wrestled them also, and like years later, I want to say he made the world team there. I think he might have wrestled for Belarus. And he was a world medalist. His name's Alexander Kotoyev. So yeah,
Yeah.
pretty cool. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts. And the other funny thing I remember, I came out to Blair going into my I guess our senior year, and I remember training with Perry, and Perry was like, "Hey, you're lucky. You get to wrestle whatever weight you want." He's like, "I have to wrestle whatever weight Espo doesn't go." So that was a funny one too.
Yeah, well, Perry surpassed my weight class right away. So those are pretty fun times in the Blair room. Those guys were hammers. I mean, you couldn't get away from a tough practice from anybody. So even nuts.
I know. And I thought about me and Jeff. We always used to watch Dave when he was over at Kennedy. He was like one of the big guys. Him and Salento, they were the local town. So they were like the guys we always watched. And of course, Mike Malanconico, Russo. If you remember that. Did you used to watch it? You used to go to those counties? Probably,
Yeah,
right?
go watch that. I'd go watch it all. I mean, my brother Dave, he has a great story. He's probably a person that you should have on sometime too. I don't know because, everyone's career is different. I had a lot different of a high school career than he had of a high school career, and it's kind of a great thing to see as a kid, is that everyone's career is different. I know a lot of guys that come out of high school as the number one kid in the country and don't pan out. Guys that do come number one kid in the country and do pan out. And guys that you don't even know of and don't even expect to make the team, not only make the team, but then become All-American, national champs. I know guys that were national champs and never made an Olympic team, and guys that were Olympic medalists and never were college All-Americans,
Right.
which is crazy. So, but going back to, watching that stuff, I went to all of it. I went to, watch, my oldest brother, Matt,
Yeah,
I
Matt. Yeah.
see him wrestle. And the state tournament always was the thing down in AC. Yeah. A lot of my memories though was always like heartbreak at the state championship because Dave,
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Zanettis, we have that kind of thing too, but
yeah.
that's all right. That's all right. Like you said, good memories, and we all learn and we get better. But
Yeah.
so what's going on with Okie State now that we took a trip down memory lane?
Nothing right now. I mean, you know, um, the whole Corona and COVID, it's just got everything kind of day to day. A lot of things are day to day. Our football teams come back. A couple other things are starting to wean their way in. Everything's voluntary type workout. From a wrestling standpoint, we haven't brought back our winter sports. We haven't bring back all our fall sports yet. So we're still in this kind of this holding pattern and just monitoring our guys through Zoom calls and really just, just trying to keep up with them best we can. So it kind of stinks that we're just limited to what we can do. So a lot of people, this is probably the longest I've been away from wrestling.
Yeah.
But I mean, not really around. I haven't really, left it. It's actually got to spend a lot more time with my son. Been rolling around with him a little bit, especially my daughters too, and just family time. So watching a lot of video, just that kind of stuff. Just trying to stay up with that. It's nuts.
That's it. How about the regional training center? Is that up and going or no?
No, because we run it out of our college university. So, and we're restricted on right now what we can do with our student athletes. We can't work out with them. And a regional training center is out of OSU, so we can't work out of that. There's some other places that, they could go to. It's just a really, it's just real tough time.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you guys able to team up with Guerrero? I know it's kind of like rivals, right, and everything, but are you guys able to? Yeah.
No, and they could if they wanted to. We can't really tell them really where to go or what to do really right now. So a lot of it is
Sometimes.
yeah. So it's not even the wrestling I'm worried about. It's just I just want to be around my guys.
Yeah.
Guys, I miss them. So.
I know. You're right. It's definitely rough. We'll talk about your mindset when you were competing and maybe your evolution, if you want to call it, things that you've learned, some of the lessons along the way, and some of your philosophies as a coach.
My mindset as competing as a competitor is definitely a lot different than I was as a coach. As a wrestler, I mean, it kind of sometimes it's shifted from match to match of how I was. I know that for me, like if I was nervous or I was a little scared, I kind of turned violent in a weird way. I remember the U.S. Open, Kolot made his return. I drew him first.
Yeah.
And Kolot was a guy that he was at Lehigh when my brother was there, so he was kind of like a person I looked up to, and he helped my brother. He was the man. And I remember I drew him first round, and everyone was like, Kolot's back, and you grab him first round. Kind of like, oh, yeah. And then I just kind of flipped the switch. I was like, screw this. But, like, all right, I don't care. He's a different person. So sometimes I have to go by. And maybe that's the jersey coming out of me, but that was a lot of the mindset. I kind of over a little bit of fear or anxiety with your, being ferocious. But now with my athletes, a lot of it's adapting to who they are and how they are. Some guys want to be calm before their matches. I'm probably more of a promoter of being calm now. Benefits of that. But like a guy like Chris Perry or Tyler Caldwell, it was feed their ego. That's how those guys kind of got up. We have some guys on the team like that now, is feeding their ego. But at the same time, then we got some guys that maybe like a Travis Whitlake, where he take out or really almost left him up. How it's really a lot of just knowing how to get them into.
Yeah. And now, how do you assess what each guy needs? Do you talk to them directly about that? Or is that more just kind of, you spend more time with them and you just kind of see it on your own?
Well, you see them in practice every day. You see how they react to tough situations in practice. A lot of all your preparation and your confidence comes from, hold on, sorry. You want to
No,
say
you're
hi?
good.
Say hello.
Hi.
Hey,
That's my little wrestler, my little 5-year-old girl wrestler. Get your head up there. Say hi to the
hey,
country.
how are you?
All right.
Is it a hot day there?
Is it? Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
This
hot in
should
New Jersey. Yeah, go.
be the tough one out of all of them.
Oh
No,
yeah.
but every day, it's from an everyday type of thing. It's just you see how they react in practice to tough times. That's what you do in practice. You put them in situations that, so that when they hit it in real competition, they're comfortable to it. So you do a lot of stuff in practice where you're simulating um, as much as you can. Some anxiety, you're simulating a lot of anxiety in them, and
Yeah.
seeing that act and just spending that time with them, and really knowing their personality is such a big thing. I could tell you right now how it's going to be with Ferrari. You're going to treat him a little bit different with pre-match stuff than you will with a Whitlag or a Reese Whitcraft or even a Dayton Fix. Dayton is the same type of way of a little bit of Travis, staying calm, thinking about what he's going to be doing, and then other guys just kind of pumping that ego up. So
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
That's
where
important.
at the beach? I didn't get to see that.
No, I'm at this is the George Washington Bridge.
Oh, nice.
So we're on the Hudson.
Oh, nice. That's really
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, not bad. A good sunset.
Yeah.
So,
So
it's a hot one today.
yeah.
But that's good. Now, what do you do exactly in practice, kind of to simulate the pressure? Do you have them wear singlet, headgear? Do you have their teammates watch them? Anything like that?
About them wearing their headgears because you get out there in a match, like little things like that. We could always talk mindset. We could always talk the way how do you want to be? How do you want to be this? How are you going to do that? But all of that's good. All of that's great, and it'll make you feel good when you're at home, sitting on the couch or um, you know in less stress situations. I mean, the only way for you to really kind of go through it is to be put into it. So as much as we can do to try and simulate situations and scenarios in practice and remind them, like your headgears, we want those on every practice because you're going to be wearing it in a competition. Some guys wear singlets, like Boo Llewellyn likes to wear singlets to practice. Um, Other guys are a little bit different. I like it also if they do. If they don't, I'm also okay with it. But a lot of it is to get them to that point where they start to question themselves. They question, you know, giving up that take, giving up a situation, and you work them through it. And you work them through it and remind them, going, hey, this is a moment that you're going to be feeling during a match, and you need to know you can go through it here so that when you're out on the mat, you can go through it. I mean, very few people that I know that couldn't go through practice or had struggled in practice or could just turn it on during a match. Like
Right.
maybe I could make one my entire career.
Wait, what was it? I missed it. Something. A car zoomed by.
Oh, I was just saying that there might have been one
Right.
person that I know that could in practice that didn't have to have the best practice and could just turn it on automatically in a competition. I mean, it's very rare. So put them as much as possible into situations where you hold them
Right.
accountable during that time and push them through it, and then you see the growth. And then they go out there in the match and they're kind of prepared and ready for it.
Makes sense. I wonder. I wonder if Boo heard that from one of our mindset coaches. I know he worked with him for a little bit with Boo Llewellyn. Because we
Hmm.
always tell our guys, we say, listen, you want to practice like you're going to compete. So I know I don't like wearing a singlet. I don't like wearing headgear. But if your goal is to be an All-American national champ, you got to do it with singlet and headgear on. So that's what you got to do. Going through your pre-match routine. What are the things you're telling yourself? What are the physical? What are the stretches you're doing? And do that before you go live and practice. So it
Yeah.
feels like you're at home as opposed to, oh, now I'm going to listen to this song for the first time and kind of
Yeah.
try on a feeling. You don't want to do that. You want to have the feeling bottled up and then basically drink it down before the match.
I was a routine guy,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit too much, but I try to do my same routine. You know, Routines are a good thing. You just can't let it get to you that if you're in a place where you can't do your routine, or you struggle to do your routine.
Yeah.
You hit that when you start wrestling overseas, where all of a sudden, like the arena's 60 degrees and you're wrestling on an ice skating ring, and warm-up's not ideal, or you're ready for your match to be up and then you're sitting on the mat waiting for the Russian to come out for another 20 minutes. You know, there's a lot of different things that can mess with your psyche in that situation. So definitely staying calm at that level. But in college, everything's pretty standard and pretty to the time. A lot of it's because of TV time. So I could always kind of stick to a routine. Like I knew that, and even our guys know, like, okay, if I'm this match up on a normal dual meet, you know, I get up to warm up about this weight. I kind of have, you know, when I rest before I go out on the mat, I kind of have that same type of run routine I do, or the same rolls and that kind of stuff. And then I'm prepared that if they draw a different weight class, at what time do I get up and I get to move. Now, things that I say to myself, I mean, every time is different. I mean, because sometimes you might, I mean, you could have a phrase, you could have a quote that puts you into the moment to go compete. A lot of guys, when they step on the mat, you know, I love that Dayton Fix does a roll and jump. It's kind of just like, you know, we're on. Okay, we got it. You know, we're ready to
And
go.
it's fun. It makes you smile, laugh, not take yourself so serious.
Well,
Keep
the
going.
fans right away too. They're like, "All right, it's on." You know, it's kind of cool stuff. Mo Wall used to run. You know, used to jump. You know, right before he went out there, I used to smack my legs. A couple other guys kind of did other things. I think it's kind of like over the top. You know, when he talked about flipping the switch in his hat. You know, so yeah, you know, you just put yourself into that mindset and put your game face on a little bit. So, you know, I know I'm a little bit all over the place with it, but sometimes, man, you just got that feeling and you just go out there and you just tear them up.
Yeah, there's no one size fits all. We say that all the time. Each guy is different, just like no two fingers on your hands are the same. No two kids are the same. So you got to find what works for each individual. And it's like being comfortable. You want to have the routine, but at the same time, not let it cross over to superstition, because then what happens when you don't have the lucky headgear, or it breaks, or like you said, some other kind of unknown factor happens.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's big.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's you know, mental part is a lot of all of it, and honestly, like I've been overseas a lot, and I got a lot of opportunities when Jamil was training and he made the world team in '03 and the Olympics in '04, and you know, I knew what the U.S. guys did. You know, like I like to always watch. You know, I remember watching Kale, um, you know, get ready for practice and get ready, and I like to watch more of that stuff than actual practice. Like
yeah,
during the Olympics, the tournament was going on, and I was in the back with Jamil, and when he wasn't going, I was watching Satia of how he got warmed up, you know, how he got himself prepared. And I remember when I went out to wrestle or would get ready, I would try to put myself in the same mind frame or the same stuff that he was kind of doing, and saw how much he put into, um, so, you know, you just saw how much they put into their pre-match routine. You know, I mean, I would watch them, and it was kind of weird and silly because, you know, in 2003 Worlds, I was in the back and I was watching Satia warm up, and I mean, he was going hard, like hard, and then grabbed Sajdov and was going hard, and then he walked out on the mat and just like stood there.
yeah,
Don't make any sense. But you know, I was always more interested in their mindset before the match and how they got themselves ready before the match. And when I did that, and when I thought about that, my performance actually was a little bit better because instead of focusing on my performance, instead of focusing on the match the whole time, I was focused on just getting ready. And when I was
yeah.
focused on getting ready, then I go out there and I go, I know I'm ready, and then going out.
Yes.
So
And that is exactly the point we make about the pre-match routine. Again, you can't try to fit a square peg in a round hole. You got to find what works for you. But at the same time, it would be a mistake not to have that pre-match routine,
mhm.
right? Yeah, that's a really big point. And like you said, it puts your mind at ease because while you're going through your routine, you're not thinking about letting down your dad in the stands. You're not thinking about the team score. You're not thinking about your opponent's ranked third in the country or all that other garbage. You're right here.
Yeah. You know, I never really tried to. I never tried to worry about my opponent. Um, you know, I mean, I would know things that he did or know kind of, you know, where he could maybe try to beat me. And maybe I was a little closed-minded a little bit in college to maybe scouting a little bit more. But I knew that if I could just focus on myself, then, you know, it's just, it's the same thing. It's the guys across the mat, and it's just another person across the mat for me. And the thing is like I hope there's nerves, because if there's nerves, then I'm going to be better. Because
Yeah.
I know I can handle them. I always kind of took comfort in that, going like, if I'm nervous, I know he's nervous, and I know if he's
Right.
nervous, then I got the upper hand in this, because you know, um, you know,
That's right.
just I know I could. I just took that pride in myself that I could do that. So.
Yeah. Absolutely right. And you got the science to back you up on that, because we know nervousness is good up until a certain point, that upside down you. And then once
Mhm.
you get to that certain point, then too much nerves is actually hurting. But you're right. It's like getting yourself to that point. And also, you hit on another good point there about it's how you view the nerves. I know there have been studies done on nerves and stress. And the people who view the stress and view the nerves as positive do well. The people who view it as, I'm scared, I'm afraid, I'm worried, I'm timid, feeling the same things as the guy who's saying, I'm excited, I have the adrenaline going, I'm motivated. They feel the same things, but they're interpreting it different. That was an important point you hit on there.
I think just even as coaches, just viewing competition more as excitement, because it's really, sometimes you're not like, you're gonna have your basic common nerves of guys wrestling. They're just gonna have that basic competition nerves. But then there's real things like you were injured, and then how do you get confident when you're injured and you couldn't do the same stuff that you were doing. 2 years ago we had a guy named Preston Weigel, who was our 197 pounder, and he was just always plagued with injury throughout his
Yep.
his career. And his senior year, he in the beginning of the year, like, partially tore his pec in a preseason lift, and then he kind of worked his way back. He wrestled one match against OU, looked great. Then the next day in practice, we literally start the drill, and 5 minutes into it, he tears like a quad muscle, and now he's out for the whole year till the very end. All his work he had to put in was off the mat. He's in the bike, making up different workouts, trying to do all these different workouts. And he comes out for a match with Air Force, and he comes out for a match. So he wrestled 3 matches total in the regular season. He goes into the Big 12 tournament. He wins the Big 12s, and he goes, and then you look at, going like, okay, in a situation like this, how is he keeping a good mental frame? How is he confident going in there, going, not talking to himself in a negative way, put himself behind, going, I'm behind because these guys whole season I have that, I but instead it was more of a flip, going like, I put in so much work, a different type of work, that I'm more prepared. They had a whole season, I'm fresh, so being able to like kind of look at that perspective in another way, even taking pride, going, I'm overcoming adversity. These guys are over, those type of situations. So any type of way of looking at it that empowers you is so important, and that's all that comes with it.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. We have a whole series based on how to mentally recover from injuries, and you nailed it. That's one of our key exercises. How is this a blessing in disguise? How is this injury the best thing that could have happened to you? And then let the athlete actually write out why that's the case. Like you said, that's what made him successful.
Yeah, yeah. So
Not easy.
it's a never-ending deal.
And then it relates to life, because then, we have a lot of the mess going on now. And how do you deal with it positively? How do you deal with it productively? How do you stay up? How do you, keep just that positive mental frame? So it's great. And
Yeah.
how do we send more people to Oklahoma State? Not that you want everyone at Oklahoma State, but how do we websites, social media pages? How do we get them over to you guys? How do they follow you?
What, recruits?
Recruits,
Oh,
coaches, people donating, donors, everyone.
oh, well, you could
Fans.
website. You could visit okstate.com, and go to the wrestling site. There's a spot there to be able to donate and join the Cowboy Wrestling Club. Um, but just social media pages, Cowboy Wrestling on Instagram. My stuff, on my Instagram, it's mostly just my stuff and my family. some things about, the kids on the guys on the team and stuff like that. But we're very fortunate to be in a program like we are, where our day-to-day activity isn't just on survival as a program, but actually of just thriving. So that's kind of sometimes we take it for granted, but something we're really excited about. But our social media, our SID and our media does a really good job with that. So all our matches are on ESPN Plus. And I believe even on the Big 12 page, they have like an OK State roundup where they show stuff from our athletic department of all our athletic teams, stuff like that. So a lot of different places to go watch it, see us. So anyways.
That's awesome. My brother's got a cowboy in his room now, one of those stuffed animal cowboy, not stuffed animal, but one of those stuffed cowboys in his room, because his friend Michael, who wrestled Oklahoma State, he's studying to be a priest like my brother is, and he's out
Yeah,
in Rome, so we met him there.
I wanted to ask you about that because he brought it up to me. And Ethan Kyle, who's now the high school coach in Stillwater, he brought it up that you have a Catholic coaches or a Catholic group. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. With Teague Moore and Kerry Bowmans, Eric Guerrero. Yeah, a good thing going.
Yeah, I need to get in it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, definitely got to come in and check it out.
Michael Martin, he came here and he converted to Catholicism and studying to be a priest. I saw him last week. That's pretty cool. He's gonna be a double priest that can double leg you.
That's right. That's right. Him and my brother were out at Ostia at the Olympic Training Center in Italy, and Mike was training with Chamizo, and Greg was training with come on, he slipped my head. You know what I'm talking about. What's that guy's name now? The big guy, the 97 pound Snyder's weight.
Yeah.
Abraham Caneto.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Well, that goes to show you about mindset. You're in Italy getting ready for world championships, and you're training with a guy studying to be a priest.
That's it.
Always need a great reflection.
That's it. Being the total package, spirit, mind, and body.
Yeah.
Awesome, Zach. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'll probably take you up on that. We should get Dave on also. But thank you for all that you do.
Great, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Take care, brother.
All right. I'll see you. Bye.
Take care. Bye.